This is WeatherScope.
Well, the Northeast is the focus today of a storm system that has caused messy weather from Texas to the Mid-Atlantic region over the last couple of days. Good morning, I'm Vivian Brown. This morning, the big cities of the Northeast are seeing snow, changing to freezing rain, then rain as the result of the very same system. Farther inland, though, it's all snow. With more details, here's Bruce Edwards. He's in the forecast center. Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning, Vivian, and thanks very much. Good morning, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. It's not the most pleasant of Valentine's Days up and down the eastern seaboard as we have some unsettled weather there, and especially in the Northeast where we got a little wintry mix, and in the Mid-Atlantic states as well. It began yesterday with one low-pressure system moving on up the eastern seaboard, and that brought a mixture of snow, sleet, and rain to parts of the East Coast. Now, for example, in Covington, Tennessee, a little taste of old man winter, despite what the groundhog had said. And as we go to the videotape, we'll see the mixture of snow, sleet, and rain that blanketed parts of eastern Tennessee. Rain fell in other parts of the state yesterday, but in Covington, about an hour north of Memphis, there was some snow accumulation during the day. Today, however, Covington generally on the cloudy sky. They might even see a light flurry, but by and large, nothing like what they saw yesterday, where it was a little bit messy, as old man winter did pay a visit. Meanwhile, as we work our way farther to the east, in the Appalachian Mountains in Boone, North Carolina, the snowfall came down there. Drivers were very, very cautious in Boone yesterday as the snow came down, mixed at times with a little sleet and freezing rain. And up in the mountains of North Carolina, it got very, very treacherous. About 3 inches of snowfall were reported up there around the Boone area. Speaking of North Carolina, we have on the phone Pauline Aldridge of the North Carolina Highway Patrol, who this morning is reporting on some slippery weather up there in the mountains. Good morning, Pauline.
Good morning.
How are conditions now in the western parts of North Carolina?
Well, all of our secondary roads are ice covered, and the counties north of the immediate Asheville area are all ice covered. Traveling toward the Boone area, our interstates, Interstate 40 and I-26, they were open. All our interstates are open. However, they're icy in spots, bridges and overpasses particularly.
Have you had I'm sure you've had the highway department out there trying to sand and salt and things and improve on the conditions so far overnight?
Yes, so they've been out since yesterday afternoon.
What advice do you have for those folks that just got to travel on I-40 or Interstate 26 for this morning?
Well, we're asking them just to drive carefully and be aware of the conditions.
All right, thanks very much, Pauline Aldridge of the North Carolina Highway Patrol. Most of all the freezing rain and drizzle is over there right now. Let's go to the satellite picture, though. We can see our storm system winding up the eastern seaboard as it continues to swirl out. Now, the initial low-pressure system that moved up from the southeast located here. We can see the flow of moisture out ahead of it. But what we have is a little kicker coming in here in Texas, another little area of low pressure that's going to come sweeping through, and that is going to develop a low-pressure area along the front, and that's going to cause its own particular set of problems for the Gulf Coast, where we're already seeing some unsettled weather. Meanwhile, to the northeast, the snow continues to advance to the north. Some heavy snow reported at Bradley Field in Windsor Locks, Connecticut during this past hour, and the snowfall continues down towards Long Island and the southern shores of Connecticut. But then as we get down to New York City, around the area around JFK Airport, now they are reporting some rain right now, while LaGuardia some snow. You can see the moisture bands again with the low pressure area moving on to the northeast, and all of this precipitation continues to slide on up the coast. Basically, what we're looking at here now is snow in this interior section right in through here, and then you get into a little bit of rain along the immediate coastal region, but then you get freezing rain and drizzle to contend with as you work your way on into especially south central Pennsylvania and northern sections of Maryland. That's where we're finding the bulk of the unsettled weather. A closer inspection, once again, we've got some snow here, light to occasionally moderate, reported across the Connecticut River Valley. New York City starting to get a little rain now on the south shores of Long Island as the milder air filters in, but in the interior we're still talking some snow right here in this part of the region. Snow on into north central Pennsylvania. All those Valentine's vacationers up in the Pocono Mountains are getting some snow this morning. But then as you work your way down towards Philadelphia, just some rain now here in Philly, but back towards Harrisburg, we're still talking about some freezing rain and drizzle that is occurring at that present time. So once again, caution is advised. Temperatures very critical. New York City just below freezing, as you'll note, but Philly has climbed to 35, so it's changing over to rain. Same story in D.C. right now. So again, the icy precipitation is now getting to plain old liquid precipitation. Southbound, we have the wedge of chilly air down through the eastern Appalachians. It's 36 in Atlanta, and then you get to the 60s as you work your way down to the Gulf Coast. But there are thunderstorms there with this front and this wave right along the immediate Gulf Coast, prompting severe thunderstorm warnings. And we'll continue to keep you updated on all this mess as it develops through the course of the day. Now, with more about what's going on across the West Coast and the rest of the nation, we go back to the forecast, or the studio, with Vivian Brown.
I'll tell you what, beyond the eastern U.S., most of the country is tranquil today. There is a little rain in extreme Washington state and a few snow flurries in the central U.S., but the overall picture shows most of the action along the eastern seaboard. Here's a look at our latest satellite picture, and you can see now the higher clouds draped from New England off the mid-Atlantic coast and really blowing up here across the southeast with a few thunderstorms over the immediate Gulf coastal area. We've had some light snow showers over the central plains. But here is the next system, the onshore flow, as the rain showers have developed near the Olympic Peninsula. Seattle reporting some light rain this morning, and we have some light rain showers around Astoria, Oregon too. So you can generally see the overall onshore flow here. So a wet Valentine's Day around Seattle and Everett up to Whidbey Island. Bellingham reporting light rain, Toledo, Hoquiam, and this is slowly moving off to the east. You can see lighter showers near Astoria and around Portland, so it's a little damp in the Pacific Northwest. So the onshore flow here, but we have the clockwise flow around this high pressure system, so offshore winds in Southern California and Southern Nevada. And it's going to be warm today. Vegas, 63 degrees with sunshine. Even warmer, though, in the San Fernando Valley. 75 and sunny conditions in Los Angeles today, and sunny and 74 in San Diego. Again, that's with those offshore winds. So we're looking good with a lot of sunshine across the southwest, but a little messy along the eastern seaboard. Well, stay with us here on the Weather Channel. Still ahead, North Dakota worries about a potentially disastrous spring as the snow melt and flooding becomes a concern. We'll be back.
It will steal you away. The fever, the cough. This is the flu, and this is the relief. Theraflu. Maximum strength medicines for all your worst symptoms. Theraflu. All the relief you need.
Today, Microsoft makes the internet easy. Today, it's the Microsoft Network, and it's free for a month. Today, it's easier to do what you want, keep in touch, and have some fun. Today, life just got a whole lot easier. It was the best of times. Today, it's different. The Microsoft Network is free for a month when you call 1-800-647-3800. MSN brings the internet to life right on your Windows 95-based PC with sound, motion, and more. Send and receive email. Get the news as it happens. Plan and book a trip. Manage your investments. And about a million other things. Call 1-800-647-3800 for your free month today. You'll get a free CD-ROM with an MSN preview video to get you started.
It's just really extraordinary to see what you can do.
And unlimited hours on MSN and the internet. Free for a month. So call today. You're on your way.
Learn about the weather conditions that can jeopardize safe air travel. Watch Out of the Blue, Saturday at noon on Exposures. Sponsored by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. WeatherScope continues right after this local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Well, parts of the Northeast faced a rather messy rush hour this morning with snow, sleet, and freezing rain, and rain is making the commute more than interesting. Good morning, I'm Bruce Edwards. Welcome back for the second half of WeatherScope.
And good morning, I'm Vivian Brown. Let's take a look at your travel forecast then. You can see on our regional radar over the east, it is a mess this morning. We have reports of snow across central Connecticut. Bradley Field reporting snow with snow in Hartford, but icy conditions at the John F. Kennedy Airport down to Middletown in northeastern Pennsylvania. So it is really a mess this morning. Very, very tricky travel here. We've had reports of some ice around our nation's capital, the National Airport in D.C., and thunderstorms have developed over the immediate Gulf coastal region today. So what a mess. Okay, wintry travel to the north, and we've had some ice and snow reported in places like New York and Philadelphia. That will be changing over to rain later on as we start to get some warmer air in from the Atlantic, but it'll be all rain with slick and slippery roadways over the south, and again, the chance for a strong, perhaps some severe storms over northern Florida and the southern Georgia coast. Windy over the northern Rockies. Winds may exceed some 30 miles an hour in western Montana, as well as Wyoming and northern Colorado. Bruce?
All right, thanks, Vivian. It's now 11:30 past the hour. It is time for the Weekend Outlook. And this Weekend Outlook is sponsored by Movie Gallery, your family entertainment source. Well, we're going to have a shift in the old pattern. The weather action is going to shift from the east to the west once we get rid of this mess that's in the east here today. Now, this is how things are looking today. We've got that trough over the east, ridge over the west. So we've had the tranquil weather over the southwest and very unsettled weather here in the east. However, by the first part of next week, we're going to see that ridge slip to the east. The trough will dig into the west. And what we'll see there is somewhat unsettled weather through the west, while it'll turn milder in the plains. And hallelujah for tranquility. We'll see some of that move into the eastern seaboard, and that is indeed some terrific news. Now, the temperature regime this weekend, generally in the eastern half of the country, is going to be cool. Of course, we got that front that'll be moving on off, and generally a northwest flow will usher in somewhat below normal readings, and especially as you get into the upper plain states tomorrow, a little of that Arctic air will creep on through. Now, that will cruise across the lakes and head towards the northeast. While, again, temperatures will be a little below normal across the eastern half of the country, really. We should normally have readings up into the mid-50s to near 60 in the south and 60s along the Gulf Coast. Well, we'll be a little below normal here. Now, it's going to be nice and warm in the southwest. But by the end of the weekend, the first of next week, we start seeing things get milder in the east, and definitely in the plain states gets a lot warmer. And then we notice it cooling down a bit in the west. The reason being some unsettled weather. Now, tomorrow, got to get rid of this stuff in the east. We have that low moving up the coast with the front. So early in the morning, still some rain lingers. Virginia's, Carolinas, down into Florida. Early morning flurries in northern sections of New England. But once we get to lunchtime, all that should be out of the picture. The next little element we see is a little clipper dropping into the plains. Now, by Sunday, that'll trigger more snow showers in the lakes in the Ohio Valley and move fairly quickly off towards the east. But as that moves on through, then we shift our attention to the west as we have that ridge breaking down and a trough moving in. So we'll see some rain showers moving on into the west, some high mountain snows, of course. And the winds generally out of the southwest ought to be pretty feisty here from West Texas to Chicago and Milwaukee, gusting at times in excess of 30 miles per hour. But they're coming from the right direction, from the southwest, and that ought to warm things up. Vivian?
Well, much of the upper Midwest has had one snowstorm after another this winter season. As spring approaches and the snow begins to melt, people are beginning to wonder whether flooding will be a major problem. We have a local report from WDAY-TV.
In only the second time in 44 years, flood experts left the gates open this winter at the Jamestown Dam, allowing the reservoir 2 extra feet of storage. Next week, the Bureau of Reclamation will increase flows in expectation of what's coming. Snow surveys from the Corps of Engineers show more than 4 inches of water in much of the James River watershed. That's way above average and more than the water content from 1950 and 1969, when the city was hit with major floods. Bob Martin from the Army Corps of Engineers says that sounds ominous, but with the Pipestem Dam and more storage capacity at the Jamestown Dam, the situation can be controlled, assuming a slow meltdown.
Those indicators don't necessarily mean that we're going to have massive flooding. It's more based on climate, the temperature, how warm it gets, and how long it stays above freezing during the day. If it freezes at night and those kind of conditions, they really dictate how much flooding we're going to get.
In Jamestown, the city is taking every precaution it can, including taking the approaches off this low-lying bridge that had interrupted the flow of the James River. Homeowners are being encouraged to get sump pumps and try to get as much snow away from their homes as possible. Mayor Charlie Karagian says for 20 years after the Pipestem Dam was built, Jamestown wasn't concerned with flooding.
We never even thought of any flood dangers anymore. We have had so many years of average rainfall, snowfall, and we just have not had any problems. And all of a sudden we're hit with this deluge of water from rains and snow, and it's just a whole new ballgame.
Management of the flows at both dams in Jamestown has been criticized by South Dakota officials. But local experts say water released here plays a very small part in flooding along the James River in South Dakota.
So we've got a bit of a sloppy Valentine's Day along the eastern seaboard, but it'll get a little better for the weekend.
That's right, and we'll have more details on your weekend forecast coming up in just a moment, so stay with us.
Not much on